Why is it that some buyers move with confidence while others are staying stuck for months, even years sometimes? It usually has nothing to do with money, inventory, or interest rates for that matter. It's usually something much deeper. What's up, y'all? My name is Paris Herbin, your favorite realtor here in the Northeast Florida area, providing you with an expertly guided and authentic experience. I don't just unlock doors for you. I want to unlock the dreams and the lifestyle that you desire to have. So if you are interested in relocating to Northeast Florida, this channel is designed to help you make confident real estate decisions. So let's get into it. Okay, so confident buyers are clear and decisive. They know exactly what it is that they want and what matters most. They're prioritizing their lifestyle over perfection because we know that doesn't exist. They also have a clear vision of exactly what they are looking for. They're not going down a rabbit hole of what could be or what is or what they would prefer over this. They know what they're willing to compromise, what they're not willing to compromise on. And again, they're keeping in mind their lifestyle. So we're talking church, schools, budget, their family needs, commute to work, things of that nature that actually make it important to know what it is that you're wanting and those things that need to be aligned in order to make a decision. They're clear. They know what's going on. Now, knowing what's going on does not always look like everything is going to be aligned perfect. So again, they're prioritizing lifestyle. You're prioritizing lifestyle over perfection. At the end of the day, you need to be decisive in any market. Yes, I've talked to you about it. We are in a buyer's market. So it's very important for you to take some time to make some decisions because you do have a lot of options, but it's also equally important to be decisive, to be clear. So that way, when we're showing homes, when we're out touring, you know what you're looking for. Now, confidence does not mean that you got it all figured out or you know it all, but confidence does look like, hey, here are the wants, the interests, and the needs. Here's what's important to me. Here's what I'm willing to compromise on. And here is my options. Here are my options once I've found, my top three and I'm willing to make some moves. A clear buyer. Okay, so number two, y'all, in order to be confident, you have to narrow down what it is that you're consuming when you're talking about information. Too much information can give you analysis paralysis. Okay, you're scrolling, you're on Zillow, you're on realtor.com, you're on Trulia, you're talking to this agent and that agent, you've spoken to someone who was in real estate 15 years ago. You are looking at social media headlines. You're looking at the news headlines. You're looking at all these opinions that are coming from every which direction. Too much information does not equate to education. So when you are consuming so much information, it can be chaotic in your mind, much like anything else in this world. So the value and the importance of narrowing down what you are consuming is so important. When you are out here getting information from every which direction, that does not mean that you are actually clear and confident and you're actually gaining some clarity on what the process looks like, what it means for you and your specific situation. It doesn't always equate to clarity. Information does not always equate to clarity. So you have to narrow in what it is that you're consuming, what it is that you are actually taking in and actually applying to your specific circumstance and situation. I have met so many people who have decided to start, researching on their own, which is a beautiful thing. I'm not mad at you getting ahead of the game and getting some information for yourself, but the reality is you have to be mindful of what it is that you're looking at. Again, applies to your specific situation and what you're consuming and taking in, because it can become an overload. And again, information does not always create clarity. So it's very important not to allow analysis paralysis of all the information that you are receiving to put you in a state of, which brings me to my next point, which is being fearful. Now, fear can look like a handful of things, right? It doesn't always have to look like only being afraid of purchasing. It could be fear of overpaying. It could be fear of purchasing at the wrong time. It could be fear of future regret. All of those things play a major part when you're talking about becoming fearful of this big decision, this intentional investment that you are making that is huge, likely one of the largest that you'll make in your life. You can certainly become fearful when you're consuming too much information, when you don't have expert guidance, when you're all over the place, when you're overthinking the process, when you are putting too much in and not getting enough out of it. Many of those things can become fearful, can create fear in your mind. Now, we all know that fear, the acronym, could look like false evidence appearing real. We know that. You know that, right? False evidence appearing real. So, with that being said, we have to make sure you are being intentional about what you are hearing, listening, having conversations about. As I mentioned, all information does not provide you with clarity. So, if you are feeling like you're fearful, it means that you may be doing a little bit too much. And to be fair, most buyers honestly aren't afraid of purchasing per se. It's really the fear of being wrong in some area of the process, but no worries, because that's what I'm here for. So if you're feeling stuck right now, it's okay. Take a deep breath. That's completely normal. The goal isn't to rush in the home. Never, absolutely ever. The goal is to be decisive, to be clear, and to have enough confidence to move forward. Now, if that person is you, click on my link in my bio and let's chat. Let's book you a discovery call so that we can talk the details and strategize. So we talked a little bit about the things, right? The things that either create some confidence or make you feel like you're still stuck. So, number one, we talked about how confident buyers are clear. They're decisive. They know what they want. They also don't fall into the trap of analysis paralysis. We don't want you to be consuming all that information that makes you feel like your brain is just all over the place. And then if you don't do those things you do those things being clear and decisive, then you have a layer of confidence that rules out any fear of the process at all. Then that brings me to point number 4. Confident buyers versus stuck buyers. That looks like trusting the process, okay? They ask smart questions. They are, doing their own research, but they're bringing it back to an expert, an advisor who is going to assist them and provide them with some professional information, some feedback, not based off of emotions solely. Even though we know this is an emotional journey and decision, you have to be intentional about how you balance and strategize. So, a confident buyer versus a stuck buyer is going to trust the process, okay? That's the importance and value in having an expertly guided advisor, okay? So, to bring it all home, the buyers who are moving forward and making decisions, they aren't necessarily the smartest buyers. They are the buyers who gain clarity and understanding and trust the process moving forward. If you are considering purchasing here in the Northeast Florida area or relocating here to the Northeast Florida area, let's connect. I want to talk with you and strategize. Click the link in my bio, my Calendly link, so that we can book you a discovery call and talk strategy. My phone number also is 904-993-3980. Remember, I'm only one phone call away until you're ready to make your move.